Hi, and welcome to Chapter 7 in our Read Aloud A Handful of Stars. Just to reflect back on Chapter 6 rather, I added to my chart over here, and you'll see this on the shared Google Doc as well, that I think that a social issue may be that Lily is torn between her old best friend Hannah and her new best friend Selma. I said to text evidence in Chapter 6 is that we see Lily torn with that. Hannah comes to the store and says, "Do you want to come and pick lavender with me?" But she wants to wait for Salma to come so they can paint the Mason bee houses. And she finds herself stuck in this middle ground, I guess you could call it. And so, what she decided to do in chapter 6 was compromise, right? And go down and pick some lavender and then race back in order to see Salma. So that's where we left off. And then we're going to kickstart chapter 7. Blueberries. Here we go. Chapter 7. When I got back to the store, Salma was already painting big and little purple circles on a bee house. She stopped to scratch Lucky behind his ears. Lucky, lie down. I stuck the sea lavender into a cup at the coffee station. Sorry I wasn't here when you got here, I said. What are you painting? Blueberries. You didn't have purple paint, so I mixed red and blue. Salma dipped her paintbrush into a puddle of purple paint. And there really are blueberries. I've seen them. So why aren't they called purple berries? I shrugged. I don't know, but wild blueberries come in lots of colors: red, purple, pink, black, even striped sometimes. But most growers pick out any berries that aren't blue. Why? Salma asked. Do the other colors taste different? No, but people think they aren't ripe unless they're blue. The different colors go into juices and wines because then they get mashed up and strained and no one ever knows what color those berries were to start with. Then I'm not painting any blue ones, she said, 'cause that's not fair. I watched her painting purple circles. They needed something to look more like real blueberries. You should put a star on top of each one, I said. A star? Wait here, I'll show you. I went up to the display of blueberries for sale and picked up one box. I'm just borrowing this for a minute, I told Grandmother, for art's sake. Through the plastic wrap on top of the box, I showed Thelma all the pointed stars, one on top of each berry. A whole box full of little blue black stars. That's cool. I'll have to check that out. I've got blueberries in the fridge. I'm going to take a look. Grandfather said that early Wabaniks called blueberries starberries. They believe the Great Spirit sent them down from the sky once when there was no other food to eat. I'm going to paint yellow stars on my purple berries so they look like stars in the sky, Selma said. Stars are one of my favorite things. I love how when you look up at night, it doesn't matter if you're in Florida or Maine or Michigan or anywhere. It's the same stars. So when I miss someone, I look at the stars and imagine that person seeing the same ones as me. No matter where I go, I can think of them and they can think of me. They're my star friends. Salma's head was tipped down as she painted, her long black hair shielding her face. It must be hard to move so much, I said. I hate it, she said. I don't feel like I really belong in the places we stay. And when I'm gone, my friends in Florida do things without me, and it's hard to catch up when I get back. When I come home, it's like we have to become friends all over again because everyone changes so fast. I know what you mean, I said. My friend Hannah used to be my best friend, but now all she wants to talk about is a boy she knows. She's changed so much that I don't even know how to talk to her anymore. And it's not true. Friendships, they change, they evolve. So, you'll stay friends with elementary school kids, but then when you get to Orange Avenue and you start meeting new people or people you've only known through sports, but now you're going to school with them, you may have different friendships form. She came to see me today and asked me to pick sea lavender with her. That's why I wasn't here when you came. I reached for the coffee cup with the sprig that I'd brought home from the boat landing. This is what sea lavender looks like. Hannah's mom makes wreaths of it to sell at the Blueberry Festival. Salma looked interested. What's a blueberry festival? Oh, it's like a fair that happens near the end of August. I put the cup back on the coffee station. Lots of people come. There's a parade and a race and a blueberry queen pageant. and booths selling every kind of blueberry food there is: blueberry honey, blueberry tea, blueberry salad dressing, blueberry jam, blueberry pancake syrup, blueberry barbecue sauce. Salma made a face. Blueberry mustard, blueberry salsa, blueberry coffee, not to mention all those pies and muffins. Some booths sell other things too, like wreaths and pot holders and. You should sell your bee houses, Selma said. I shook my head. I couldn't do that. Why not? I'll help you. But I'd have to rent a booth and borrow a table and probably do a bunch of other things that I don't even know about. The more houses you sell, the faster Lucky can have his operation, Salma said simply, right? My hands kept painting, but my mind was busy adding up the pluses and minuses. -1. I had enough saved for the booth rental, but it didn't seem smart to give up $100 on just the hope of making more. -2. What if no one bought anything? I would die of embarrassment. -3. I'd never done anything like this before. I'd never even wanted to. But +1. If I sold just 4 bee houses, I'd earn back enough money to pay for the booth. +2. If I sold 5 bee houses, I'd be ahead. Might sell a lot more than 5 too. +3. Salma said she'd help, so I wouldn't have to do it alone. It would be fun to run the booth together. +4. Lucky might get his operation sooner, like a lot sooner. I looked down at him beside me, those gray-blue circles on his eyes turning the world dark. And I knew I'd try anything for Lucky, even being a big thinker for once. Would you really help me? I asked Selma quietly. I'd need a lot of bee houses for a whole booth, and people seem to really like yours the best. Sure! Selma held out her pinky finger. Star friends always help each other. I grinned and crooked my pinky around hers for a pinky swear. Yes, star friends always do. When it was finished, Salma's bee house was covered in different colors and sizes of blueberries, each with a yellow star on top. A bubbly, starry sky of blueberries. The berries on my bee houses, well, you probably guessed, were perfectly round, and they were stenciled, and they were all blue. Suddenly, my bee house looked too plain. I picked up my littlest brush and dipped it into Salma's paint puddle, and one by one I went from blueberry to blueberry, adding tiny purple stars. And that was chapter 7. You know, it seems like such a subtle change that we're seeing in Lily, but for her to take that risk of possibly getting a booth at the Blueberry Festival and even to go back and paint her houses differently, we're seeing this subtle change in the character. Salma is bringing out this side of Lily that would not have happened if they did not become friends. Okay, boys and girls, so what I want you to do is before you listen in on chapter 8, I want you to go to your Google Doc and see if there's anything you can add. Have you seen a signpost? Have you seen any social issue changes? Jot it down so that when we meet up this week for our Read Aloud Zoom, you have something to share.